Hey, it's Clay Trader at InvestorShub.com. This will be a video chart on SRSR, Sarissa Resources Incorporated. I want to do this as I've had some requests for it, and it's been getting pretty jiggy with it the past few days. Today was a red day, and I especially wanted to do it for today just because I'm sure people are freaking out and starting to question things. But I wanted to highlight some support levels and so forth because stocks can't go straight up. They do need to take days off and let profit takers out and so forth. And although this chart maybe is starting to cause some panic, it's really not quite as bad as it looks. But let me throw out the disclaimer that if certain support levels begin to fail, then yeah, the chart's going to get pretty ugly looking. But right now, everybody's still in the game, and it's still worth keeping an eye on as a potential player. So with that being said, let's just jump in. First thing that I'm going to highlight, and probably one of the more obvious things if you're familiar with charting, is our resistance right now that we have for the future is up here at 0.057. I'm not going to talk too much about that because right now this is more of a situation where we want to see if support levels hold rather than going up and fighting off resistance levels. So the first resistance, or excuse me, resistance that has turned support is what I meant to say was right here. So quick chart lesson, basic technical analysis. Whenever a resistance is broken, which this one was right here, it becomes a support level. And this is going to be the first support area that we're going to monitor and watch and make sure that it can hopefully hold. Now this is what I'm going to call the ideal support level, meaning if it doesn't hold, nothing to completely freak out about. Reason being, if you can see here, we have the upper Bollinger Band, and whenever these candles close outside of the upper Bollinger Band, that is considered overextended. And as you can see, this candle from yesterday was way overextended, way outside the upper Bollinger Band, and this one still actually closed outside of it, just barely. You can see that the upper Bollinger Band behind the circle is valued at 0.042. Okay, let me take that back, and we closed at 0.042, so we still closed right on top of it. So technically we're not inside of it yet. So if this one doesn't hold, this one, meaning this support level at 0.04, that's okay. Nothing to freak out about and panic. Now a more ideal one, and I say ideal because it is inside the Bollinger Band, is this level down here. We'll say probably 0.036, 0.035. I'm just looking over here and trying to eyeball that on my own. This level would be a little bit more realistic to hold, and ideally that's the one that you'd want to see hold. Another more ideal one is going to be right here at 0.032 or so. As you can see here, we're getting well into these Bollinger Bands, so this level here should put up a good fight for the bulls if it falls down here. And also, if I drag it across here, you can see that it's right in line with almost that 0.029 level over there. But regardless, this is our most recent previous high that was broken through, so that should have a pretty good support level. Now the level that is kind of complete make or break is going to be down here at 25 cents, and I'm actually going to make this one as thick as the program will let me, so people, and I'm not going to make it dotted either. This 0.025, 0.0255, whatever you want to call it, is really the make or break it. Would I hold and wait until, if I own shares up here, would I hold all the way down here? From a charting perspective, that's a little bit too far of a drop for me, but that's just my opinion and how my style would work. But this is, this has got to hold. If this move here is a true bullish move, then on any sort of pullback to this level or this level, should really have, no problem holding, especially this one here. There should be just no problem. There should be plenty of people buying down here if this move is a true bullish move. So the way to use these support levels is, kind of, you can make a checklist, whatever you want, but obviously as each one of them fails, the less and less appetizing the chart becomes. Now keep in mind, like I said, if that one fails, does that all of a sudden turn the chart bearish? No. If that one fails, does that one all of a sudden turn it bearish? No. But the more and more that do fail, you need to understand that that's kind of like the thermometer. Each one that fails, the stock is getting colder and colder. So if you want to use that analogy as a thermometer, then you can use that and kind of gauge what kind of strength is behind this. Now the other thing to keep in mind about this candle is I want you to look at volume on these two big huge days. We had volume bar 1 and volume bar 2 on this day 1 and this day up here 2. And now look at the volume on the pullback day. You can see that it was less than the first day and much less than the second day. So as of right now, that just tells us that there's not any huge dumping or anything going on. This was just profit takers, and the chart was overextended anyway, so it's kind of pulling back in, and hopefully now there will be just some sideways action. But this is one of the things that you need to keep your eye on is volume. As long as volume stays relatively small, if you get a bar like this and then maybe another one like that, like this and so forth, as we go sideways, that's ideal. And then to get a bar like this, another big one, as the stock moves up, that would be your ideal situation. So keep your eye on volume, and as long as you don't get any huge red volume bars with a huge red candlestick, then that's a good sign to see. So if you do have any other questions, you can get a hold of me at the Charts Are Cool board on InvestorsHub.com. But I know a lot of people are probably panicking, so I wanted to throw up the thermometer and make sure people know to keep your eye on these support levels. Thanks for listening.